Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a powerful, a pleasurable, an indestructible episode of the Creative Differences podcast. I'm Dallas, and I want a prequel movie about Sean Yu.
I'm Gabby, and I've never abandoned my family to go fight in a war dressed as a man.
It's good.
That sounds like someone was accusing you of doing that and you had to defend yourself.
No, I'm just like, I've just never done it,
I feel it.
Maybe you should try it once just to see how it goes. Anyway, I'm Colin, and yeah, Mulan still slaps. I'm not surprised.
Yep. So, in case you couldn't tell, guys, we're talking about Mulan. Happy Throwback Thursday. The new Mulan comes out tomorrow, so we figured let's talk about the old one today. I always go through my, directed by, written by. It's a long list this time, so be ready. Directed by Barry Cook and Tony Bancroft. Barry directed Arthur Christmas and Walking with Dinosaurs, and Tony directed Animal Crackers and worked as an animator for a bunch of Disney stuff. It's written by 5 people: Rita Shao, Philip Lizebnik, Chris Sanders, Eugenia Bostwick-Singer, and Raymond Singer. Rita wrote Toy Story 2 and My Little Pony the movie. Philip wrote Pocahontas and The Prince of Egypt, which slaps. Chris wrote and directed Lilo and Stitch, How to Train Your Dragon, and The Croods, all of which are dope. Eugenia wrote Joseph, King of Dreams, which I haven't seen since I was a kid, but it's probably dope. And Raymond also wrote Joseph, King of Dreams with Eugenia. Maybe they're related. They have the same last name. Okay, I've been talking long enough. Gabby,
Yes.
tell them what Mulan is about in case somehow they don't know.
Okay. Mulan is about Fa Mulan, who is living in, I guess, feudal China. It's during the time that the Huns are attacking China. So China decides to recruit an army, and every family has to send a son. Her family doesn't have a son, so her father, who's already been injured in war, would have to go into war. So instead, Mulan dresses like a man and goes in his place.
That is Mulan. I like that. Good summary. Do you remember your first time watching it? I don't. I was 5, but I like it.
I do.
So. Oh, good.
I was 5. This is the first movie that I remember seeing in the movie theater. Although my parents told me that we went to see Pocahontas like the year before that, and I was obsessed with it, or 2 years before that. But yeah, I remember seeing this movie. We saw it. Do you guys know where the Hometown Buffet is? There's like a movie theater across the street from that. That's the one we went to because everywhere else was sold out.
Wow, you have a really good memory of this whole situation.
Because I was like, oh my god, a movie, and then Mulan was so good. Like,
It was.
It's just like embedded in my memory. But yeah, that's where I went to see it.
I don't even remember a Hometown Buffet.
I remember
There's
them
one in
existing.
Alhambra.
Oh, you were like over there.
Yeah, like that's where we had to go.
Oh wow.
It's all the way in Alhambra. I think you take like Los Robles all the way down, and then there's an Edward Cinema across the street.
Colin.
That was very specific.
Yeah, we're getting into directions and whatnot. Colin, do you remember your first time watching this movie? I bet you don't.
No, I do not.
No. Your memory is notoriously trash.
I barely remember my last time watching this movie, and that was 2 days ago.
I love the consistency. Well, cool. We were children because the movie came out in 98, and we were all born in 92. Fun fact about us.
Yes, all 4 of us.
There's only 3 of us. Demi doesn't exist.
Oh, but she's part of the show,
Yes, she's part of the show. Anyway, story time. Not a story from us, but like we're talking about.
Oh, I was getting really confused. Like I wasn't prepped for this.
All right. Tell a story, Colin. I like the story. I really like the idea that they started it with Sean Yu at the wall.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you now, 5-year-old Dallas would have definitely checked out if the story started with the matchmaker shenanigans. Like she's just feeding chickens and taking a bath. I didn't care about that when I was a kid. But like you got this demon-looking man climbing the Great Wall of China, and there's fire, and he has sharp teeth for some reason. And like the whites of his eyes are actually black. I was like, yo, I can get into this.
It's really cool.
Yes.
Also, just like it very clearly sets up that like he's not someone to be fucked with.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's very good storytelling.
I agree. Speaking of storytelling, this is a rarity because she's a Disney character with 2 living parents. And
Right?
neither of them are like evil or anything.
Yeah.
Like just 2 nice parents.
and they both make it to the end. Like,
Yeah, I was reading stuff because I do that sometimes, and apparently there are like 5 cases in the history of Disney princesses where they have 2 living parents that survive to the end of the movie.
I'm surprised there are
Can you
that many,
tell
to be
us
honest.
those? Can you tell
If
us
I can
which
do it
ones?
from memory, Aurora from Sleeping Beauty did it in 1959. Mulan was the next one in the 90s.
What?
Yes.
Jesus.
And then it is Rapunzel from Tangled in like 2010, so another big jump.
Mhm.
And then Merida from Brave, shooting for her own hand. And then Moana from Moana.
Wow.
So like in the 2,000 years of Disney princesses, they've had 5 with 2 living parents that stay living the whole movie.
Lord.
And Caleb brought up a good point that like Rapunzel and Aurora aren't even really raised by her parents, their parents.
Yep.
So it's like out of those 5, only 3 of them are actually raised by their parents.
I mean, that seems to be. I haven't seen Brave, but at least like in the other ones, it seems like the trick is either don't be raised by your parents or almost immediately leave. Like
Oh, yeah.
Moana gets the
So
hell
that
out of
they
there,
live.
and so her parents are fine.
Yeah, you can either run away from your parents or they can die. It sounds like kids are the problem. Like, don't have kids or you will die.
So Mean Girls was right.
You will get pregnant and die.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Wow, who would have thought we'd tie this into Mean Girls today?
I feel like with the catty ass like dudes that she hangs out with easily. Like
Yeah,
they
honestly,
could
like,
easily
if I was-
tie it into Mean Girls.
I
I was
feel
about to
like,
say like Yao.
Shifu would write a burn book.
Yeah. Yao, Chimp. No, Chimpo's
He's the
nice,
only one that wouldn't like.
but like Ling, all of them, they were Mean
I
Girls.
feel like Qianpo is the girl who wants to bake a cake made of rainbows.
Is that a character in Mean Girls?
She doesn't even go here.
Hey,
Yeah.
Even
When they're
go
doing that like
here.
assembly and they all have to say nice things and that random girl gets up there.
Yes,
Oh,
they are. Yep, same as that girl.
that's funny because she doesn't even go here. It's kind of like the sentiment when Mulan is found out and they leave her in the snow.
Yep.
You can't sit with us.
Go here. Well, at the beginning, it's you can't sit with us, and then she like retrieves the what is it like the metal the weight
Arrow with the weights.
Oh yes, she retrieves the arrow with the weights, and then stuff and things.
Dallas, you had a question?
Stuff and things. Yeah. Do any of you know why the Great Stone Dragon doesn't wake up?
No.
No. Do you?
No. I had a question.
Did you look it up?
I mean, they're like fan theories, but
Ooh, what are some?
I only know one, and it's a weird one. That Mulan is the Great Stone Dragon.
What?
Oh yeah.
It's like the spirit goes into her when she's sitting under the thing, and then she goes to fight with the spirit of the Great Stone Dragon in her.
So it like already woke up?
Like it possessed. I don't know. It possessed her or something.
That's kind of.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like there's nothing in the movie to bear that out.
I feel like it does and it doesn't. Like the theory, which is a shout out to Super Carlin Brothers on YouTube. I watch them a lot. They have a lot of theories. Some of them are kind of reachy. This one was kind of backed up by just, there are dragons everywhere in the movie. And I was like, well, the movie's in China. They got dragons. So not really sure I buy the theory. I guess none of us know, and none of us will ever know why the Great Stone Dragon didn't wake up. Speaking of dragons, Mushu.
He's the best.
That's what I'm talking
maybe
about,
maybe he's the Great Stone Dragon, and they've just been treating him like crap this entire
That
time.
would be wild.
Well, I mean, he was a guardian at some point.
But he had a spot in the guardian house.
And he got demoted.
Yeah, so he just
Okay,
doesn't have a spot. He wasn't there. But it does make me wonder, how many of the guardians have black voices?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because we don't see any, we don't interact with any of the other guardians.
It's true. And the cricket is like a cricket and
Yeah.
doesn't talk the entire
So it's
time.
like we would have, Mushu sounds like Eddie Murphy. So what do the other guardians sound like? Are they all just like Chinese people?
Wow.
Something to think about.
I'm just assuming the Great Stone Dragon is like Keith David or something.
Oh my God. That's such a missed opportunity.
Oh my goodness.
But yes, we've moved on to characters. Let's talk about Mulan because she's the namesake of the movie and the main character.
Yes.
I think the older I get, the more relatable Mulan is
Oh yeah.
because she just does not have it together toward the beginning of the movie.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But in a way that isn't, she's not like a train wreck or nothing. She's just not really what her parents or society expect of her.
yes.
And it's just like, man, I feel you, Mulan.
Yeah, like our entire generation feels you, Mulan.
Exactly. I was like, I don't know if it's just like, yeah, she's like the millennial hero.
Yeah, she like, and she arrived when we were like little bitty babies.
Right. We all grew into being Mulan,
Oh God.
except she's much more badass than we are
Yeah.
for a number of reasons.
I just want to give a shout out to Ming-Na Wen, who I'm a huge fan of, and I guess I have been since Mulan. But yeah, this is the first film that started her Disney hat trick.
Wait, what was the other two?
She's in like every big property that Disney has.
For Disney animated films, she's in Mulan. For Marvel, she's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And for
Right.
Star Wars, she is in The Mandalorian.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was the one I
she-
was missing. I knew
Yeah,
about
she's
that
just
shit.
missing. Yeah, she's just missing like what Pixar now.
Yeah, but I think everybody just puts Pixar under Disney animation at this point.
Ah,
So we're just like, she has Mulan.
Yeah.
Technically, she's also in Wreck-It Ralph as well. So
True.
I don't know if there's another actor out there who has the hat trick, but there are a few out there who are close.
That can be a topic for
Yep.
one of our days. Anyway. But yeah, shout out to Ming-Na Wen. She's dope. Shout out to Lea Salonga, who sings for Mulan, as well as Princess Jasmine, but we're not talking about Aladdin right now. And also, back to Mulan being a badass. She has the highest body count of any Disney character ever,
Oh yeah,
including villains.
she killed so many people.
She killed close to 2,000 people
Oh
Jesus.
damn.
and 2,000 horses. Nobody ever talks about the horses.
Oh, the horses.
Because,
poor horsies.
yeah, I was reading that like they drew like 2,000 Huns in that attack scene. 6 of them survive. None of the horses survive. So
Wait, really? Only 6 of them? So like the people that were attacking the emperor were only 6 people?
there were 6 of them. Yeah, it was like
Oh my
Shan Yu and
God,
5 of his
that's
goons.
low key. That's impressive.
They were super
that
impressive.
that they did that, and that doesn't get talked about either.
Here's the thing that bothers me about that, though, is
Hmm.
that I'm pretty sure at least one of the dudes in that final assault on the Emperor is shirtless. And it's like, were you shirtless in the snow? How did you live?
Yo, like honestly, we could go on a whole tangent about how do the Huns do the things they do. Shan Yu cuts down the top of a tree while he's in the tree.
Yeah, I was watching it with a friend and I was like, why did he do that? Was it like he needs a better view? Why
I
not
think he
just
needed a
climb
better view.
a shorter tree? Or like
Also,
what?
if I could do that, I'd do it every day. He did it with a sword, not an axe, not a chainsaw. He just swung
And
a
one
sword.
clean swipe too.
Right. Shan Yu is my favorite character. He's so amazing. And shout out to Miguel Ferrer. Rest in peace. You were amazing. He had like one of the best voices of all time, and he brought Shan Yu to life. And I have feared and respected this man since I was 5.
Yes.
He also voiced Vandal Savage in a lot of DC stuff, and he was great. He'll be missed. But yeah, Shan Yu is terrifying. He's ruthless. He has really dope lines. Like, I really was not joking about winning a movie about him.
Yeah, dude.
And Kayla was like, well, it's like a Attila the Hun movie. And I was like, Attila the Hun didn't have the cold lines that Shan Yu has.
The scariest line to me is like, how many people does
Yes.
it take to deliver
Wow,
a
that line is so
message?
good.
I love it so much. Because like, when
Oh,
he says it so
dude.
calmly, he's just like scratching his beard, like, Like he legitimately is asking. And his boy's like, I got you.
And
One.
then the dude that just brings out the bow and arrow. It took me way too long to understand what was going on there, because I was literally 5 years old when I first saw this movie.
Yeah, and I didn't catch
But,
it
oh
until
my
like
God.
one day I was in school in Spanish class, and our teacher was showing it in Spanish. And like he says the line, and it's just like, "Ooh no!" And he shoots him in the back. And I was like,
Oh my
"Oh
God.
my god!" I never caught that line in English, but it hits.
Oh my God, it does hit.
But yeah, this movie has some dope characters. It has a black dragon who also, when Mushu shows up, he has like a Baptist church sequence.
Yeah, there's like an organ
He
and
kinda
everything.
does.
Yeah, and I feel like
And
Disney.
like the crickets, like
He's like, yeah, the crick's like fan in flames. I feel like Disney was going through a phase because Hercules came out right before Mulan, and they had like the black choir. So I feel like somebody at Disney was like visiting black churches, and they was like, yo, we got to put these in our movies.
no, somebody at Disney was like, we have no black people in our movies.
Maybe that was it.
And then someone else was like, well, how can we sprinkle black culture in the next Chex Watch 2 animated movies?
I mean, hey, it worked.
Or maybe they were trying to get like the black community to go to the movies more, something like that, like up their numbers strategically.
It worked for me. I love the Muses and Mushu.
Yeah. Or maybe like what they did was they were like, yeah, Eddie Murphy, just go in the booth and start riffing, and that's how he started.
And he started playing an organ.
No,
Actually,
he started
fun
doing the
fact.
There's a fun fact.
There's a fun fact. No, Eddie Murphy came in and they wanted him to record at Walt Disney Studios, and he apparently did not like recording there, so he recorded it in his basement or something like that. He has like his own studio or something.
Nice.
Oh wow.
He also did not want to make this movie, I think,
Oh,
initially. And then I think he just changed his mind.
I'm glad he changed his mind.
Me too, because he like is arguably the best part of this movie.
He's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah,
To,
I think
to,
like we
uh,
used
to
to
the
love.
rest of the world.
Huh?
I said to the rest of the world, not to China.
Oh yeah, but like, oh well.
So we should move on to visuals and sound, but we haven't talked about Shang at all.
Let's talk about Shang, who was like, "I'm cool with being bisexual, dude."
People
mean-
always say that, and I'm like, Mulan looks and sounds like a woman with her hair up. She just speaks with a lower voice. So, like, this movie
So
probably
that's-
has the highest
Honestly,
suspension of
like
disbelief for me.
the thing about Mulan is like watching this movie again as an adult. The scene where she is revealed,
hmm
like, what do you actually see there?
That's my thing. Is like you guys have seen more than this. You guys were in the water with her. Her hair was down. You saw.
Yeah.
And
all-
like she's
all
got
the
the
bits.
bandages on, so even if she had titties to see, they'd probably be like pushed
Bandaged
down.
down.
So it's like, what do you see?
Yeah. So I was like, is it because like I got nothing, but you know they needed a way for her to be revealed. I don't know what to tell you because it doesn't make any sense. Like he pulls her hair down. He's like, a woman. Oh my God, a woman. Like, bro, you saw her,
Men can't have long hair.
right?
But isn't it implied that all the men in this have, a lot of them have long hair because of the way they put it up? So, in the bath scene, no.
Yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Anyway,
I'm pretty
we were
sure it's
talking about
just
Shang.
supposed to be the boobs, guys.
Which is wild.
Yes, she's wrapped up, but she's not the one who did the wrapping.
So the doctor was like, oh look,
The
titties.
doctor was like, by the way, I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I remember the scene where the doctor comes out of the tent and he whispers into Shang's ear, "She got titties," and then
Dallas.
Shang is like, "What?" and he runs inside.
You guys actually never talked about Shang.
Trying to
like,
see
at
them
all?
titties.
Oh, we should
That's
talk
true. We
about,
didn't talk about Shang.
Sorry.
Yeah. Shout out to BD Wong of Law and Order SVU fame,
Yeah.
and shout out to Donny Osmond for giving us one of the best Disney songs of all time. But we'll get to that. Shang is cool. He's trying, man. He's just trying to impress
Yeah.
his dad, who dies horribly, and he has that Hayden ass. What's his name? Chifu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's Chifu, which means bully.
Of course.
That dude was just hating to hate the whole movie. I was like, Shane, just hit him. Just punch him. Like, why is he here? He just, I hated him. He was like Randall from Recess, but old
Yeah,
and Chinese.
he was not a nice man.
I need to make a correction to a statement that I made earlier. It was not Eddie Murphy who was reluctant to do the movie. It was Harvey Fierstein who
Yes.
plays Yao.
Yes, Harvey was reluctant because he didn't want to voice an Asian character because he wanted Asian people to voice Asian characters because he
Wow.
was ahead of his time. Apparently.
It's before. Yeah, he's ahead of his time.
Yeah, like nobody, especially for voice acting roles, like nobody
Yeah.
in the 90s cared.
They only just now started caring, I feel like.
Yeah,
Like-
but then they're like, "Hey, we have a lot of Asian people in the movie. They're cool. They're fine. It's all good." And he was like, "All right," because I think it's just him, Mushu, and Sean Yu are voiced by non-Asian people,
Okay.
unless you count the singing voices for Donny Osmond. But
Isn't Donny Osmond, is he Latinx or?
I don't know what Donny Osmond is. I thought he was a white dude.
Oh, maybe.
Let us know in the comments what ethnicity Donny Osmond is.
Donny Osmond is white.
Okay, that's what I thought. I
Oh,
don't know
is
Donny
he?
Osmond like that, but I just
Oh, I'm
assumed he was
sorry.
a white man.
He's always so tan.
Okay, no need to let us know in the comments if Donny Osmond is a white man. Gabby, do you have anything else to say about Shang?
Oh, dude, Shang was like, "Oh my god, I'm into boys." When I was 5.
Okay, cool. See, I was like,
He's cute.
we're missing Gabby's thirst in this episode, and this is where we're gonna have to get it.
he was really dreamy.
I feel he's a solid dude.
Yeah, he's just dreamy.
All right, that covers that. Colin, you
Moving
got any
on.
thoughts about Shang?
I mean, he's pretty solid. Like, I respect that he puts the work in to them because the men really just kind of suck on that first day. and he really like
Yeah.
actually works with them, which that must have taken a lot of patience.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can imagine.
dude. But like he did a great job. Like at the end, like they were warriors. They were a functioning battalion of an army.
They were swift as a coursing river.
Yep.
Speaking of that,
All
oh,
the lyrics
what?
just went out of my head, so I couldn't respond.
Oh, it's okay.
I was
The
like,
people know
something
it.
dark side of the moon.
Something dark side of the moon.
Yeah, Pink Floyd,
Yeah. Speaking of that, I don't think I've ever been to a karaoke night where someone didn't sing "Make a Man Out of You."
Also, like when you sing it in a group, it makes it way better.
Oh
like,
yeah,
Well, you have to sing it in a group because
so great.
that's the whole point.
Yeah, if you sing that song by yourself, it's just weird.
Yeah, it's one of the best songs to karaoke. Yeah.
It's legendary. It's iconic. You got to like jump and do a kick at the end of it.
Yep. You must be fierce as a coursing river, with all the force of a great typhoon, with all the strength of a raging fire.
This is visuals and sound.
Yeah, this is visuals and sound.
The sound is the song.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all,
Yes,
the music in this movie is like chef's kiss. As
It is.
always, on a
It is.
Disney movie.
it is beautiful. I love that song in particular the most. But
Also,
all the
talking
songs are
about
dope.
like visuals and sound together, like the abrupt tone shift when Girl Was Fighting For just ends and we cut to Destroyed Village.
Oh.
And there are no songs after that. Like,
Nope.
shit's serious.
That is a rough one. Like they are mid song, mid bar. They are singing, harmonizing. A girl worth fighting, and then oh look, everyone is dead.
A girl worth fighting for. Oh, we're in the middle of war. Like, I feel like that was great though, because you go from basically young men that idolize and like maybe think of war as this kind of like cool, like I'm gonna go prove myself a man, into like, and like they're fantasizing via the song, and then actually no, like it shows them that their war is a harsh reality and you're mortal, like, and it's just a great way to do it, right? I feel like what the animators did, they were like, okay, how do we show the horrors of war without like showing actual violence on screen? And it's like, oh, you take this really upbeat song and then just like the horrors of war in the middle of it.
Yeah. Also, they didn't shy away from showing a bunch of corpses in the snow.
Wait,
Like you get to the village and it's empty, but then they go past that where the like general and his guys were, and you see all of them in the snow.
oh, I don't remember seeing them. Maybe I
Ye-
wasn't paying attention. I just remember seeing helmets.
Yeah, like there's the helmet that they bring from the general, but I had to rewind. I was like, wait, I don't remember seeing the actual bodies, but yeah, they're like
Oh wow.
the general's men are just out.
Oh, I don't remember that. So now I have to go and pay attention.
Yes, that would help.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
What were you doing this time that you watched it?
I mean,
Not paying attention.
I feel like I just glazed over that bit because I was like, I've seen this movie, instead of being like, oh my god, what?
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, it's rough, buddy.
That's rough, buddy. Someone should have said that to Shang, but never mind.
That would have been a little much.
The dude that I'm in love with turns out he's a girl.
But yeah, the movie's beautiful. Visuals are dope. The sound is dope.
I just want to bring up that music cue that happens right before Mulan's transformation, when she makes that decision, when she's sitting on the stone chair under the great stone dragon.
Yeah.
And then that dope music cue that happens when she finally gets up to leave.
We had a friend who used to talk about that a lot. He's alive, in case anyone is worried about what I just said. But yeah, maybe that's the moment where the stone dragon possesses Mulan, takes over her body, and decides she's going to go fight.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Favorite
Okay.
aspect. What?
Oh, sorry. Really quick, I just want to bring one more visual. When the Huns are coming down that mountain,
Oh my God.
and like apparently that was a feat in animation. They were like, okay, how are we going to do this? Because it's never been done before, and it's a lot of moving parts. And I think it was one of the first times they used like digital animation on or combined digital and what is it? What's the other kind of animation?
Drawing?
Yeah, like digital and drawing. animation.
We just call it
design.
traditional.
There you
That
go.
works.
That's the term. That's. I was looking for the correct term.
Traditional and boneless.
Dallas.
What?
This is a dumb joke.
Yes, it is.
I mean, we've all seen The Incredibles. There are no bones in that woman.
There's a lot of meat.
Dallas,
Mm.
don't say it. Don't say it. I
There's a
realized
lot
as
of-
soon as I said it that you could take advantage of that.
There's a lot of meat, though.
Okay, anyway,
Got some meat and bones in it.
I am never going to speak again as long as I live.
This is your fault. You brought The Incredibles up.
I know.
But yes, it was a feat of animation, just like Elastigirl.
And it
was
looks
impressive.
super impressive. Like when they're coming down the mountain, it's like, oh my god, it's getting real, and I'm afraid. And you're like, how are they going to get out of this?
Yep.
So I
And
just
then
wanted
Mulan.
to highlight fucking mercs
And
everybody.
Mulan is like, ooh, now I gotta kill you, boy. And murders 2,000 people. Impressive.
Yeah, such a huge body count.
That's
All right.
like, wow. But yeah, like one other thing about the visuals, just Shan Yu, his whole aesthetic, his demon horse, his Huns, that just
Yeah,
look
dude.
terrifying.
He looked so cool the whole time too.
He
I was like,
did.
wow, like in real life, or like if he was in a modern setting, he would be wearing like a cool leather jacket, like combat boots. I'd be like even more afraid of him. Like he's just so cool.
He's amazing.
Okay,
Speaking of
onward.
amazing things, what are your favorite things about the movie? Colin,
Oh, it's me.
it's you.
That's a difficult question because I like this movie so much that like choosing a favorite thing is.
I mean, you had the study guide. You knew what the questions were going to be.
Did I?
Gabby,
Yes.
what are your favorite things about the movie?
My favorite things about the movie is the humor. It's probably why it was like so embedded in my memory. I just thought this movie was absolutely hilarious as a child. And like my brother and I left quoting the movie from the movie theater for ages. Like we would go around like quoting the grandmother where like Shang comes to visit Mulan and he's like, "Can I stay for dinner?" And the grandma's like, "Can you stay forever?" Like we
Yeah.
would quote that at each other anytime my mom brought up dinner, like as little annoying small children. So just the humor in this one, it just felt like particularly just really good. Mushu also just like was a light, and I loved this movie because of him as well. So, but overall, like just the humor, it was just done very, very well in this movie.
I agree. And I will use that to piggyback my favorite aspect, which is, well, two things. Mushu, for all the reasons that you just said, the humor is on point. Like, it still makes me laugh, and I've seen this movie so many times.
Yep.
But, like, my favorite things are, I guess, the lightest and darkest, because Shan Yu was my other favorite thing about this movie.
Yeah,
So
he's
it's like,
cool.
it works really well with the comedy of Mushu and all the lightheartedness that he brings, but then also Shan Yu and all the gravitas and fear that he brings is extremely dope. And Mushu is extremely black, and I love it.
Dude, when he goes was it shame or dishonor?
Dishonor on
Dishonor
you.
on you.
Dishonor on your cow.
Dishonor on your whole family.
He was great.
Oh, so good.
Also, he called himself pleasurable in the Disney movie, which I thought was weird.
Listen, what he does on his own time is his business.
I mean, I guess, but like, say that for your own time. Don't introduce yourself that way.
He's just listing the services he can provide.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. So, what are you guys expecting from the remake / not remake, but like retelling of the old story?
Ooh, boy.
The retelling of the Ballad of Mulan,
Yes, that.
I'm
which
actually
I actually read.
wow.
Oh,
You want to talk about it?
doing
Or
your
are you
homework.
sneaking back into the shadows?
I can talk about it. I mean, it's a poem. It's the very basic like bones of what this movie is. You know, it's about a girl whose father is supposed to be going off to war, and she takes his place instead. And I think I actually have it open on my phone still.
You have the poem open on your phone?
Yeah, no, I really like the poem. It's a really short poem too, and I can send it to you guys if you guys would like to read it.
Sure, yeah.
Cool.
It's really short. It's about her journey, and I think it says that she spends 10 years at war or 12 years at war. None of the men ever find out that she is a woman until after the war is over. I really like the last two lines of the poem, which are, "But when the two rabbits run side by side, how can you tell the female from the male?"
Nice.
Wow.
Which is what this movie is supposed to be about. So yeah, I'm super excited about the remake, mainly because it's going to be different from the animated movie.
I like that. I like that they took a different approach to the story. And especially since the story is so familiar, it's kind of what I've wanted from all the animated movie or like the remakes. I wanted something like a different take, and I feel like that's why I've been disappointed by a lot of them.
Because they're not different enough.
They're not different enough. And this one I love what they decided to do. There's still some, there's still kind of magic in there, right? So it's not like a big totally historically like accurate, right? And everybody's speaking English the whole time. But I love that they decided to do it in this way. It seems like I'm like a genuinely different movie as opposed to just like, oh, this is a rehashing. It feels like I'm getting an actually different movie.
I feel you. I feel you on that.
Also, I love period pieces, so this is like feeding
You
right
do.
into what I love.
And this is a period piece that's not just full of white people, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, I watch a lot of those too because I also watch Korean and Chinese dramas and Taiwanese dramas, which also do period pieces. So, yes, there's a way to get period pieces that aren't just Western. If people are out there that are interested.
I respect it. Hey, Demi,
Yeah, fam.
you know what I'm expecting?
Some dope ass fight scenes.
Yes. And a witch.
Hey.
Yes, we have to watch this on a big screen, guys.
A witch. Oh
How?
man, it's been a while since
Oh,
we made that joke.
Yes, we made that joke, and then the world ended, and we haven't made it since.
Oh, geez.
We haven't had the opportunity, but now we have it.
Yes, expect
She was
it
a
in
witch.
our next episode when we do this, like the actual movie. But yeah, I'm excited to see the witch because I was super heartbroken that Sean Yu's not in the movie, and I still am. But she looks pretty dope as well. So at least
Wait,
we can.
Sean Yu's not in the movie?
No, clarification for those who don't know about this. The reason why the Huns are not the bad guys in this movie is because the writers and people who made this movie wanted it to be more historically accurate, and technically the Huns were not around during the time period that this movie takes place in.
Okay.
Anybody who was also complaining about there not being a dragon in this movie, it is because the dragon, from what I understand and have read, the dragon in Chinese culture is associated with men, whereas the phoenix, which is in this movie, is associated with women and femininity.
Got
But
it.
wouldn't the dragon make sense for Mulan because she's trying to be a man or pretend to be a man?
No, because she's still a woman underneath all of it.
She's not saying that her identity is male. She's putting on a disguise.
I mean, I guess. I just feel like you could easily justify the dragon. Be like, she's trying to be Ping.
Her true self underneath all of it is a woman. So the phoenix
fair.
is her true self, the authenticity of it.
But also, it's a different movie, right? And they're trying to also, it seems like they're trying to also educate a little bit with this. So it makes sense that they would trade out the elements of the last movie that were like starkly different and replace them with something that's more accurate. Like it would have been easy for them to just keep up with keep the dragon element or everything, but they decided to do what is more correct. I don't know. I feel like that's important.
That does sound important. I agree. I still I'm mad that Mushu's not in it, but it's okay. We don't need him in this one. I can watch him in the old one, like I just did yesterday.
Also, I feel like it would not be as good, right? Because I feel like they've tried this before. They've tried to remake shot for shot and bring in those elements that we loved and those like kind of sidekick characters that we love into live action. And it just doesn't, it's not as good as it was in the animated form, right? Which is why I like this.
Depending on how they do it and what the original is, but
that's true.
the
But
whole
I feel like they weren't going to get Mushu right.
I feel you.
There's just nothing that's going to beat Eddie Murphy's performance, like more than 20 years ago. So they did a new thing. I really like this take a lot.
I see that. That's good.
Because I normally hate these things so much because it's like, great, you're making a shot for shot, whatever. This is how I felt about Maleficent before, I saw
Before you
Maleficent.
actually saw it.
Yeah,
Oof.
but that's how I felt, where I was like, wow, like this is gonna be great. Like it's completely different. or not completely different, but it's like at least a very different perspective. And this is the same perspective, but it's like let's make this a historical drama. Let's see what that looks like. And it's like yes, everything I love.
Everything Gabby loves. Speaking of things Gabby loves, Colin.
I do love Colin.
Colin.
Sorry, what? Yeah,
Stop that, Dallas. Now.
He's not answering.
That's a weird transition.
What are you expecting from the remake? You haven't said much.
I don't know. The way that question is phrased always throws me off because it's like I'm expecting what we've seen in the trailer, but like,
or maybe what would you like to see from the remake, or what about the remake has you excited, if at all?
Not much, to be honest. Like, I guess I'm interested in The Witch, but otherwise, like, it's weird because the Disney live action remakes I haven't particularly cared about. But that's, I think, because mostly they were made from movies I don't particularly care about to begin with. So it's like, you can do whatever. I don't care. But this one, I really like this movie, and the new version just feels, from what we've seen, like it just has less personality to it. Like, it looks like it'll be fine in terms of it'll be thrilling and such, but just, I don't know, it just doesn't look interesting. I assume I will see it, but I'm not going to pay $30 to see it. That's a lot of money for a movie I'm not that interested in.
I feel you. $30 is a lot of money for
especially
any
when
movie.
Probably I would be the only one watching. Like, it'd be paying $30 for myself. Like, that's
Yeah, I can't really wrap my mind around $30 for a movie. But I'm cheap.
I can only because the Disney policy is you keep the movie. So they're basically having you pay for a Blu-ray or a
Yeah, I was about to say I buy physical copies of all my movies and basically spend almost $30 anyway on movies.
Or
See,
like
that
a
to me makes
family
more
of 3 or a
sense.
family of 4, which is probably what they'd be buying.
Oh yeah,
I have a
totally. If
family
you're
of
buying
5.
for multiple
going
people,
to-
that makes so much sense.
You know, Trolls World Tour charge you $20 every time you wanted to see the movie. Disney is charging you $30 for one movie that a family that has kids could then watch over and over and over again, which they will. Like if a kid really likes a movie and it's at home, they're gonna ask their parents to keep paying for it, which is what happened with Trolls World Tour. So Disney just upped the price of like a rental by $10 and said you can keep it, which
Yeah, I get
at
like
that point makes
format.
sense. Yeah, I mean at that point it makes sense, but for like one person, I understand it like not making sense.
My only issue with the like Blu-ray comparison is that I've never gone to buy a Blu-ray for a movie that I don't know I like. I've only done that with movies that I know I like enough to spend that money on.
That makes sense. I feel like for us that are like single adults that are still willing to watch Disney movies, it's a steep price. But for a family of 4 that every time they go to a movie theater, it costs maybe like $50 to $70, this is a steal. And
Yeah,
it's
they're
at
dropping
home.
that money anyway.
Yeah, they're dropping more than that money anyway. So it's like, you know, of course I'm going to pay $30 to get the movie, and it's at my house. I don't have to leave the house. Perfect. I don't have to wrangle the kids. I don't have to like deal with like a dark, crowded movie theater where my kid has to pee every 5 minutes. I could just pause the movie. It's like infinitely more convenient and almost cheaper.
It sounds like we're circling back to the thesis of the episode of having kids is worse than not.
Oh goodness.
And on that note, this has been Mulan, guys.
Yay!
Yes, thank you, audience, for listening to all of that, our rambles, whatever makes it into the episode. I'm sure Demi's going to cut a lot of stuff out today. Let us know what you think of Mulan and if you're excited for the new one. Big thank you to Crown Digital and Brandon and Io, as always, for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Demi, thank you for editing, cutting out all the nonsense that we say, and sharing insight on the poem, because I haven't read it.
If you guys read it before the live action, you guys can talk about it.
That's true. Maybe I'll do that.
I mean,
Short
you
poems.
said it's not very long, so
Yeah.
might as well.
Short poems are my favorite kinds of poems. Colin, thank you for bringing up Elastigirl for me and Gabby to enjoy those jokes. That was a fun time for us. Gabby, thank you for shouting out the period pieces of other cultures, because
They exist.
we've seen enough old white people being old and white. Audience, back to you guys. If you want to talk more about Mulan with us, you can find us on the medias at Twitter, y'all_different, Instagram and Tumblr, Creative Differences Podcast, and Facebook. Just search for it. If you want to talk to me about how dope Sean Yu is, You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at a king named Simba.
You can find me, Gabby, on Instagram at Stegosaurus.
You can find me on Twitter at Duck McGuck.
And you can't find Demi because she's not here.
It's because I'm the Great Stone Dragon.
Hey, I love it. All right, y'all. It's been different.
Bye.